Welcome back, coin lovers, Aussie collectors, and hidden treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Australian 50-cent coins, the iconic 12-sided pieces we often overlook in our wallets and change jars. But what if I told you that some of these coins are actually worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? That's right. Thanks to rare mintages, special commemorative editions, and unique minting errors, a handful of 50-cent coins have become incredibly valuable to collectors across the country and beyond. So, whether you're new to the world of coin collecting or you've been stacking silver for years, this episode is for you. Let's get started with the most valuable 50-cent Australian coins ever made. First up, the 1978 Australian 50-cent coin. And while it may appear old, worn, or even dirty black in color, do not be fooled, because within this aged and tarnished shell may lie a highly collectible treasure that's growing in demand, appreciation, and maybe even millionaire potential. The combination of condition rarity, historical relevance, and unique appearance puts this coin in the spotlight today like never before. Let's begin by setting the historical backdrop. The 1970s in Australia were a time of political change, royal visits, and cultural evolution. The 50-cent coin of 1978 was part of the long-running standard issue, bearing the coat of arms of Australia on one side and the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the other. While it wasn't a commemorative piece, its value comes not from design difference, but from scarcity in fine condition, mint anomalies, and collectors' hunger for full-year sets, especially from earlier decades. Many coins from this era have been lost, heavily worn, or discarded. So finding one, even in dirty black circulated condition, can still be important, especially if it shows signs of rare errors or holds potential for restoration. Let's talk about the design, starting with the reverse. The coin features the Australian coat of arms, designed by Stuart Devlin, one of the most iconic figures in modern coin engraving. In the center is a grand shield divided into 6 sections, each representing one of Australia's 6 states. Above it sits the 7-pointed Commonwealth star. To the left stands the proud kangaroo. To the right, the powerful emu. 2 creatures chosen specifically because they cannot walk backward, symbolizing Australia's forward drive. In dirty black condition, many of these details may be muted or obscured, but even with heavy tarnish, the underlying features can remain identifiable. If the structure of the images is intact, collectors often seek them out as restoration projects, or better, as candidates for rare variant analysis. On the obverse, we see Queen Elizabeth II, captured in a portrait created by Arnold Machin, showing Her Majesty wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It's regal, serene, and elegantly simple. This effigy was used from 1966 to 1984 and is now part of history, especially with the Queen's passing. In excellent versions of the 1978 coin, the Queen's profile is clean and defined. However, in a dirty or blackened coin, this side may appear faded or darkened, but sometimes that very condition hints at unique chemical toning or exposure variations that can actually enhance value for niche collectors who seek distinct appearances. Now to the specifications. The 1978 50-cent coin maintains Australia's distinct 12-sided shape, dodecagonal, measuring 31.65 millimeters in diameter, weighing 15.55 grams, and struck from copper-nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Its metallic content gives it a silvery shine when clean, but with decades of circulation, many coins have turned gray, brown, or even black due to oxidation, chemical contact, or environmental exposure. This dirty black look doesn't automatically mean it's worthless. In fact, to a trained collector, it might hint at age authenticity, storage in unusual environments, or potential value through proper conservation. Let's talk about value. In typical circulated condition, a 1978 50-cent coin might be worth $1 to $2 Australian dollars, mainly for its base metal and nostalgic appeal. However, if you have one in a very fine or uncirculated state, it could range from $5 to $20 Australian dollars, more if part of a full set. But here's where it gets exciting. Coins with rare mint errors, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, or rim cuds from 1978 have sold for $50 to $300 Australian dollars or more, depending on condition and certification. Even a dirty black coin, if it shows a striking error or unique feature, can be cleaned professionally and certified, pushing its value to an unexpected high. The demand for 1970s Australian coins is climbing, especially as younger collectors aim to build year-based portfolios. The 1978 coin, with its clean standard design and rarity in fine condition, is seen as a key filler coin, and demand is strong both domestically and abroad. Additionally, the trend toward collecting coins that show signs of character, toning, color anomalies, or age-related damage has grown, making dirty black variants more intriguing, especially to specialist collectors of toned and battle-worn coins. So, how does this coin hold millionaire potential? It's all about finding the right version in the right moment. If your 1978 coin has a known or unreported error, and if it's authenticated by PCGS or NGC, the value can skyrocket. Combine that with historical appeal, Queen Elizabeth II's growing collectability, and a surge in demand for older Australian coins, and you may be holding a piece that's worth far more than pocket change. Imagine if you've kept an entire roll in dark storage. What may appear like tarnished junk could be a numismatic goldmine. If you own a 1978 50-cent coin in dirty black condition, do this. First, do not clean it at home. Amateur cleaning can destroy any value. Instead, inspect it with a magnifier. Look for double strikes, uneven edges, off-center minting, or unusual textures. If you see anything rare, consider professional assessment. Store it safely, keep it away from moisture, and if possible, present it to a local coin expert or grading service. The 1978 Australian 50-cent coin, even in dirty black condition, could be one of the most undervalued hidden gems in your collection. Its solid design, potential for rare errors, and increasing demand in today's coin market make it a serious contender for long-term value. This isn't just a relic of the past. It's a silver whisper of Australian heritage that might just turn your dusty old drawer into a million-dollar miracle. Next up, the 1980 Australian 50-cent coin, a 12-sided silver-tone beauty that's been in the hands of millions, yet holds surprising value and millionaire potential for those who know where to look. If you've got one lying around in circulated condition, don't throw it away, because today's deep dive might just prove it's one of the smartest coins you'll ever keep. Let's rewind to the year 1980. Australia was experiencing social and economic transformation, with the country evolving through a mixture of tradition and progress. The coin in question, the standard 50-cent piece, didn't mark a commemorative event, but its bold, intricate design and robust circulation history make it a foundational piece in Australian numismatics. Over 25 million of these coins were minted in Canberra that year, making it common in total numbers, but uncommon in collectible condition. Many of these coins were heavily used, tossed in drawers, purses, and vending machines, so finding one today in sharp, original condition, even if circulated, is becoming rarer by the year. Let's take a look at the design, starting with the reverse, a masterwork by the renowned Stuart Devlin, the man who gave modern Australia its most iconic coin imagery. The face of the coin proudly bears the Commonwealth coat of arms, featuring the national shield segmented into 6 parts to represent the 6 states of Australia. On either side stand 2 noble guardians of progress, the kangaroo and the emu, both creatures unable to walk backward, representing Australia's drive forward. Above the shield gleams the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, surrounded by intricate scrollwork and foliage that shine with detail under close inspection. In circulated condition, much of this detail may be worn, but sharp examples with visible feathers, claws, and shield markings are still highly desirable. Flip the coin to the obverse, and you're greeted by the serene profile of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right and wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This portrait, created by Arnold Machin, was used from 1966 to 1984 and has become a collector's favorite, representing a regal era before design changes shifted to more mature depictions. In circulated condition, the Queen's image may be softened or even dull in tone, but her presence remains commanding, and for collectors of monarch-era coinage, this obverse is a proud statement of Australia's connection to the crown. With the Queen's recent passing, coins featuring her likeness, especially those from earlier reign periods, have seen a notable increase in value and historical importance. Now let's explore the specifications. Like all post-1969 Australian 50-cent coins, the 1980 version is dodecagonal, 12-sided, measuring 31.65 millimeters in diameter and weighing a solid 15.55 grams. It's made of copper-nickel, composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance and strong resistance to wear. This composition ensures that even after decades in circulation, many of these coins still hold decent eye appeal. Their unique shape and size make them instantly recognizable and cherished among Australian and international collectors alike. Let's talk money. What is the 1980 50-cent coin worth today? In general circulated condition, it's often valued at around $1 to $2 depending on how much detail remains and whether the surfaces are clean or heavily worn. But here's where things take a turn. Very fine to extremely fine examples of this coin can fetch $5 to $15 on collector marketplaces, especially if part of a date set. More importantly, mint errors on 1980 coins, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and clipped planchets, have been known to sell for $50 to $500, and in rare authenticated cases, even more. If your 1980 coin has unusual text doubling, misaligned dies, or strange rim defects, you may be sitting on a collector's jackpot. The collector demand for coins from the late 1970s to early 1980s is on the rise. Why? Because full-date sets from this period are being assembled globally, not only by Australians, but by Commonwealth collectors and royal memorabilia enthusiasts. The 1980 coin is seen as a key piece in those sets, a bridge between the Mackin-era designs and the transition into commemorative issues of the later 1980s and 1990s. Also, many coins from this period have not survived in high quality due to heavy circulation, so sharp coins from 1980, even circulated ones, are increasingly being plucked off the market by savvy buyers. Now let's answer the golden question. How could this coin make you a millionaire? The true power lies not in a single coin, but in combinations. A roll of 1980 coins in above-average condition, a few rare mint errors that are still undocumented, a full-date set anchored by a gem 1980 piece. These can collectively command 4 to 5-figure sums. And with growing interest in Australian coinage from Chinese, UK, and American collectors, international auction markets are opening up. Coins once worth $1 are now hitting $1,000 plus if paired with the right story, right grade, and right buyer. Multiply that over multiple coins or a well-preserved error variant. And yes, you're stepping into millionaire territory. So if you have a 1980 Australian 50-cent coin, don't dismiss it based on appearance alone. Look for details. Do the coat of arms features remain strong? Is the Queen's portrait clear? Are there rim flaws or striking anomalies? If so, it's time to store it properly, maybe get it graded, and certainly keep it safe. In the world of coins, age, condition, history, and timing are everything. And this particular piece ticks all the boxes for future value growth. The 1980 Australian 50-cent coin is a powerful piece of numismatic history. Though circulated and common in its day, its design legacy, Queen's portrait, structural integrity, and error potential elevate it from ordinary to extraordinary. Don't be surprised if this coin becomes the cornerstone of a collection or the seed of your millionaire story. Next up, the 1984 Australian 50-cent coin, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but in very fine condition, with its bold national symbolism, vintage elegance, and rare potential, could be one of the most overlooked gems in your collection. This 12-sided silver-toned coin isn't just a product of the past. It's an opportunity for the future, and if you hold the right version, it just might be the coin that makes you a millionaire. Let's start with a bit of historical perspective. The year was 1984. Australia was going through cultural evolution. The Australian dollar was gaining strength, and Queen Elizabeth II's presence on the nation's coinage was firmly established as a symbol of continuity and identity. The 1984 50-cent coin wasn't issued to commemorate an event, but rather as part of the standard circulation. Yet that standard design, the craftsmanship, and the age of the coin make it highly desirable today. With over 27 million coins minted in Canberra, it was widely circulated, but that high mintage doesn't guarantee easy value. Surviving coins in very fine or better condition are increasingly rare, especially as circulation wears down the features collectors crave the most. Let's take a closer look at the design, an eternal piece of Australian pride. The reverse of the coin features the Commonwealth coat of arms, designed by legendary goldsmith and coin engraver Stuart Devlin. The shield at the center of the design displays the badges of Australia's 6 states, each within its own compartment. Standing tall on either side are the kangaroo and the emu, symbolic animals chosen for their inability to walk backwards, a metaphor for Australia's progressive spirit. Above them sits the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, glowing like a beacon of unity. The detail in the coat of arms, particularly the feathers, the claws, and the scrollwork around the edges, pops magnificently in very fine condition. When preserved properly, the fine lines remain sharp, the background fields are smooth, and the visual balance of this design is nothing short of spectacular. Now, flip the coin over, and we see Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This portrait, sculpted by Arnold Machin, was a staple on Australian coinage from 1966 to 1984. Yes, this was the final year this particular portrait was used. From 1985 onwards, the Royal Mint transitioned to the Raphael Maklauf effigy. That makes the 1984 50-cent coin the last in the iconic Machin series, giving it special relevance for collectors of royal memorabilia and numismatic milestones. In very fine condition, the Queen's neckline, tiara, and facial features still show impressive clarity. This adds not only aesthetic appeal, but also historical weight, especially following the Queen's passing in 2022, which has only intensified global interest in coins from her reign. Now let's break down the specifications. The 1984 50-cent coin is dodecagonal, with 12 flat edges that distinguish it visually and physically from round coins. It measures 31.65 millimeters in diameter, weighs 15.55 grams, and is composed of copper-nickel, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This blend gives it a durable silver-like finish that holds up well over time. In very fine condition, the luster may have faded slightly, but the details are still intact, and there is minimal flattening on the highest relief points. It has just the right amount of character, showing it has lived, but not aged beyond recognition. Now, let's talk value, the part everyone's waiting for. In average circulated condition, the 1984 coin is typically worth around $1 to $2 depending on the level of wear. But in very fine condition, you could expect to get $5 to $15, and more if your coin is part of a complete Machin-era collection. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Collectors are on the hunt for error coins. And yes, the 1984 50 cent has its share of known anomalies. Double strikes, off-center minting, broad strikes, and die cracks have been reported. These rare errors, if certified and in solid condition, can command values ranging from $100 to $500, and exceptional examples have been known to break the $1,000 mark in high-grade auctions. And here's the ultimate question. How could this coin make you a millionaire? Imagine finding a rare error version of the 1984 50-cent coin, certified at MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC, possibly with a unique double die or dramatic misstrike. If you own more than one, or better yet, a full 1984 mint roll preserved since its release, your collection could be worth thousands. Combine this with the skyrocketing value of pre-decimal and early decimal Queen Elizabeth coins, and the surge of global buyers entering the market, and suddenly, you're not just a coin holder. You're an early investor in numismatic gold. In the right auction, under the right spotlight, this coin could open doors to 5- or 6-figure opportunities, especially if paired with other high-demand coins in a vintage portfolio. If you're lucky enough to own a 1984 50-cent coin, here's what you should do next. First, inspect the coin under good lighting. Look for sharp details, smooth surfaces, and any irregularities in the rim, legends, or relief. Don't attempt to clean it. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC value natural patina and untouched condition far more than shine. If it passes visual checks, consider submitting it for grading. A high-grade 1984 coin, especially with a known error or part of a complete set, has the potential to become a star in the collector's universe. The 1984 Australian 50-cent coin may not shout its value from the rooftops, but for those who listen closely and look carefully, it holds the keys to historic richness and financial reward. With the last of the Makin portrait, timeless national symbols, and a growing demand driven by royal nostalgia, this silver 12-sided marvel could be the coin that turns your pocket change into generational wealth. Next up, the 1971 Australian 50-cent coin. You might think that a dirty, old, circulated coin is nothing more than scrap metal. But hold on, because under that tarnished surface lies a silver-toned giant of numismatic value. And in the right condition, with the right characteristics, it could be the sleeper coin that changes your financial future forever. Let's dive deep into everything that makes this coin more than just a relic. It's a diamond in the rough, with millionaire potential. The year 1971 was a pivotal period in Australia's modern history. It was the height of a new decimal currency era introduced only 5 years earlier in 1966, and Australians were still adjusting to their new coins and notes. The 50-cent coin had undergone a major transformation in 1969, switching from the round, silver .800 fine type of 1966 to the dodecagonal, 12-sided, copper-nickel coin we still use today. By 1971, this version was still relatively new and fresh in the eyes of the public. That year, around 21.2 million 50-cent coins were minted in Canberra. While not the lowest mintage, it is far scarcer than coins from the late 1970s or 1980s, and coins surviving today in excellent condition are becoming increasingly rare. Let's turn our attention to the design, where this coin truly comes alive. The reverse side, designed by the brilliant Stuart Devlin, proudly displays the Australian coat of arms. At the center, the Commonwealth Shield is divided into 6 sections representing Australia's 6 states. A banner flows beneath it with the word Australia, while the shield is flanked by 2 of the nation's most iconic animals, the kangaroo and the emu, both chosen for their inability to walk backward, representing the country's determination to always move forward. Above all of this sits the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, symbolizing the unity of the Federation. Even in dirty, circulated condition, this design remains strikingly bold. The heavy outlines, deep engravings, and wide fields help the coin maintain its identity even under years of wear and exposure. On the obverse side, we have the regal image of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Arnold Mackin. This iconic portrait shows Her Majesty facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The 1971 coin is one of the earlier examples to feature this design during the decimal transition, and coins from this era carry increased significance due to their age and connection to the early stages of modern Australian currency. Even in circulated condition, collectors look for visible facial details, a clear tiara outline, and strong lettering. Coins from this year that have retained much of this detail, despite a dirty surface or heavy handling, are increasingly sought after by both domestic and international collectors. Now, let's examine the specifications. The 1971 50-cent coin is dodecagonal, 12-sided, measuring 31.65 millimeters in diameter and weighing 15.55 grams. It is composed of copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance and great resilience against wear. This coin has a chunky, substantial feel in the hand, and its unique 12-sided shape means it stands out from all other circulating coins in Australia. Even in dirty, circulated condition, these coins hold their weight in metal value and collector nostalgia. With age comes character, and a darkened or tarnished coin can still bring a strong price if its form and features remain intact. Let's get to the heart of it, the value. In average circulated condition, the 1971 50-cent coin is typically worth around $1.50 to $3 depending on how much detail remains visible and how heavily it has been circulated. However, coins in very fine to extremely fine condition can fetch $10 to $25, especially if they still show sharp detailing in the animals, shield, and queen's effigy. And the value doesn't stop there. Error coins from 1971, such as clipped planchets, off-center strikes, cuds, or die cracks, are highly valuable, with some selling for $100 to $600. depending on rarity and grade. In mint state or uncirculated condition, prices can skyrocket, with certified examples bringing $500 plus, especially if slabbed by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. So how exactly could this 50-cent coin make you a millionaire? It's all about volume, condition, and rarity. Suppose you discover a stash of 1971 coins in an old drawer, inherited from a family collection, or even purchased in bulk at a market. If any of them feature known mint errors, or, better yet, a rare unknown variation, you could be sitting on a treasure trove. Combine that with strong grading, rising collector interest due to the Queen's passing, and a passionate international market for Commonwealth coinage, and you're not just playing with pocket change. You're investing in a tangible asset that could explode in value. And for the lucky few who discover a one-of-a-kind misstrike or preserved roll of mint-condition 1971 coins, the profits could range well into the five- or even six-figure territory over time. The demand for early decimal coins is on the rise. Collectors from around the world, especially from the UK, Canada, and New Zealand, are competing to own full-year sets, error varieties, and rare high-grade examples. The 1971 issue, being one of the earliest dodecagonal coins with the Makin portrait, holds a special place in these collections. Even in circulated, dirty condition, there's a growing niche market that appreciates toned, aged coins with natural patina. These coins tell a story. They are living history, and people are paying real money to own them. In conclusion, the 1971 Australian 50-cent coin might look like a dirty, worn piece of change to the untrained eye. But to those who understand coinage, rarity, and the shifting tides of collector demand, it is a powerful relic with incredible upside potential. With sharp engravings, early monarch effigy, structural uniqueness, and increasing market demand, this coin can truly be the sleeper in your collection that wakes up and changes your life. If you've got one tucked away, now's the time to examine it, protect it, and maybe even get it professionally graded. If you found this breakdown exciting, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with fellow collectors. Because the next time you hold a dirty old coin in your hand, you might just be holding a $1 million piece of Australia's soul. Keep collecting, stay curious, and remember, every coin has a story. Some just have a fortune hidden inside.